BBQ Mike G here to show you how to cook a rib roast on a rotisserie and how to make Dutch oven Bush's beans. I like cooking everything outside, so this combination makes me really happy. And one of the neat things I'm going to show you tonight is a knot, how to tie a knot on a rib roast if you're going to cut, if you only want one string at a time. So it's a really cool butcher's knot. I want to share it with you. So let's get going. Okay, I picked up a 21-pound rib roast, and I'm gonna take the bones off it because I think that the meat on a rotisserie cooks better without the bone, more evenly throughout the roast. And I like to leave a lot of extra meat on the ribs, so the ribs have a little extra chunk of meat at the end of it. You can see it from the top right there. That's the extra chunk of meat that I want to keep on that rib so I can eat some more when I'm eating the ribs. This rib roast had a lot of silver skin on it, so I had to cut all that off so it wouldn't be so chewy. And here's that knot I was showing you. Look how quick and easy it is to do. And it's going to show you slower right now. You take the loose end and you have it away from you, and then you bring it towards you. Then you fling your finger around and make a little loop, and then you stick the loose end through the loop. And then when you pull back, it snaps and it's done. And here I'm showing it to you on a little pig so you can see it a little bit more clearly. The loose end comes from the top. You make a little loop with your finger and then stick the loose end through there. And then give it a yank until it snaps. And once it snaps, it's a good knot. You could also put a second knot on it if you want to make sure. But that's a knot that my friend Phil taught me when I was working in the meat department. Now I'm going to use a little bit of kosher salt and dry brine this overnight. And I'm going to dry brine the ribs too. I'm going to smoke those separately. And I'm putting post oak in the bottom of 2 charcoal baskets. And I'm leaving a little bit of space for 5 hot briquettes for each basket. So the rotisserie starts off at a very low temperature and then builds to a higher temperature at the end, so you can have a little bit of smoking at the beginning and then a little bit of, get a good char at the end, so it's really hot at the end. I like to put the pepper, it's already been salted from dry brining, so I put the pepper on the kettle as it's rotisserie. I used a little water because I didn't think it was wet enough to hold the pepper, so I added a little more water to it, and it's a great way to put the pepper on. Now this roast ended up cooking for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Here's my little Lodge cast iron Dutch oven, and my friend Eric's here helping me make the beans. First we start off with some yellow onion, hot Jimmy Dean Chubb sausage. To get that stuff really brown. I used a whole chimney of charcoal underneath that to get those 2 things really brown, because that's the most important thing of this cook, is to get those 2 things blazing hot and fully browned. These are all the spices that we keep, it's just a rotating amount of different kinds of spices that we keep putting into these things, but each one of them really kind of comes together and makes it really a special thing. And when we're using the beans, we use different kinds of beans to give it like a, red beans, cannellini beans. So there's white beans, there's red beans, there's small beans, there's large beans. And then at the end, we put the Bush's in there just for that Bush's, that Bush's gravy, that sweetness that the Bush's country style beans have. The country style is better, in my view, because it's thicker. So you can have a thicker bean. I like to add the chipotle peppers. That makes it, give it a little kick. Okay, Eric's been tasting this the whole time, but he's told me it's all right, and I didn't have Rotel, so I had to use green chilies and tomatoes, because that's all we had in the house. If you put the charcoal on the lid of the Dutch oven and you move all the coals away from the underneath it, you could leave it there and you don't have to babysit it. So you can do the rib roast or hang out with your friends or whatever you want to do. So any of these spices or all these spices or any of these ingredients to your beans will just kick it up a notch. If you're just eating Bush's beans on its own, it's like it's kind of like a starting point, you know. You could put all sorts of great stuff in there. One tip is that if you are going to use sausage, like use 1 chub so you don't have to get rid of the grease. If you use 2 chubs or more, you have to get rid of the grease, which is a pain in the neck. So 1 chub is, you're not going to notice that much grease in it, but too much grease blocks the flavors from hitting your tongue. All right, this thing's done. It's 111 internal. We were going for medium rare. That's the charcoal that we had left, that's not bad for cooking that size piece of meat. Always get rid of all the strings so you don't end up with any small pieces when you're serving people, because that's really a hassle. The sun was really blazing on this thing, making it look white, but I was trying to show that it actually was pink. If you can look at the top part, you see how pink it really was. I'm not that great a photographer apparently, but I'm getting there. I'm trying, you know. But it was tasty. These guys ate the whole thing and they took the leftovers home. The only thing I had left was the 1 chunk I didn't cut. So there it is. There's the rib roast. There's the beans. Some pork belly on the side and some yellow watermelon. That's one way to cook a 7 rib roast on a rotisserie, and one variation of Bush's beans. That butcher's knot is really handy when you're only trying to tie 1 or 2 ribs, but you could do it for all 7 if you want to. If you want to see how you cook those or smoke those beef ribs, I did it on my Weber Summit charcoal grill video about how to use the DigiQ, and I smoked the ribs for that video. So thanks for watching, and please ring the notification bell. Thank you.